We're live.
Hello.
So anticlimactic every time. I just always think there's going to be a big beacon that says you're live.
Yeah,
And it's not.
it just goes.
It just goes.
There's not even a red little dot anywhere.
I know. Good morning, guys. Welcome to the pre-chat. Our fearless leader is, of course, she's gone in Vegas.
Yeah. One of many times that she's there in the near future.
Never for fun, though. She probably gets too sick of it that she never would go there.
Yeah, she's like, no, I'm good.
Right.
But she was there for with Mutual of Omaha like a week or two ago.
Okay.
And I think this was Medicare Con. And then maybe going again.
Do many of the agents, go to any of those? I've never been.
I don't know about Medicare Con or Medicarians, but I know it's a big popular thing. But I don't
Someday
know.
I'll get there. Someday I'll be cool enough to get there.
Get to the Cool Kids Club.
Yeah.
Go to Vegas.
Well, we are still before 10. We're just getting on a little early to chit chat. We've been, I found out something new within the last 5 minutes.
Yeah. So Carrie and I are both alumni from the same preschool.
We went to the same preschool.
Yeah, we went to, it was Humpty Dumpty.
Humpty Dumpty. The best of the best, right?
I'm pretty sure we had team colors at some point. I think we were on the purple team.
T. Cody was our
Mrs. T.
teacher.
Cody. What a wonderful lady.
I don't know why I vividly remember her. Nothing else about the school.
Just
Or
Miss T.
anybody in the
Cody.
class.
Yeah.
Just Mrs. T. Cody.
I remember two things. That we were on the purple team.
Purple team.
And I don't know what that meant. I don't remember there being other teams, but we were on the purple team.
I remember that. We together?
Yeah,
we were on the purple team.
Okay.
I want to see some pictures of us.
And then I remember one time we went to a pet store. And that's it.
You have a way better memory.
I only remember we went to a
better
pet store because they had lizards. And I was just like, ooh, this is cool when I was in preschool. Yeah.
I'm feeling a little, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. I just feel like something's wrong with my memory. Clearly.
No, we had a mutual friend that helped remind me. I was just like, oh yeah, we did go to the same preschool.
And I remember the friend, but I think the other girl I mentioned was
yeah.
on our team, I guess.
Yeah, I don't remember much about that because it's been a while since we've been in preschool.
Just a few. And to come full circle, for those of you interested, my daughter, I just dropped her off at that same preschool this morning.
Yeah, it's wild.
So the trend continues. Yeah. Hopefully she remembers more than I do.
Just make sure she's on the purple team.
You know what?
Be good.
I bet I remember. So I know all of her kids in her class. I bet if we asked our moms,
yeah,
they would probably remember better.
For sure.
than what we do.
For sure.
Oh, goodness. All right, guys. It is 10. I think.
Let's do it.
Well, we're a couple minutes early. But today we are talking about Novice to Pro.
Novice.
Pro. There we go. Novice to Pro. Basically, everything that we used to do day one, and how has that evolved to become a pro?
Yeah. So this was something, I know we're doing Medicare Quick Start next week. And so that's a lot of things we talk about it's really good for agents who are just getting started and really good for agents who are wanting to get back to basics or kind of just relearn or just kind of hone in and make sure they know the day one stuff. And so why we kind of wanted this to be a topic was so I could ask you about what you did day one versus what you do now. And maybe some stuff would still hold true.
Yeah.
Maybe you've moved past that and be like, yeah, I wouldn't do that again.
Yeah.
Here's what I would do. So just kind of wanted to pick your brain for a bit.
Yeah, feel free.
Okay. So I'm sure you've told this story on Medicare Cafe before, but how did you originally get your start? How did your day one entry go?
My day one entry, I feel like, was very different than everybody else. I came into this industry really pretty scared because it was, everybody was telling me this is really like a cold-driven kind of sales industry. You're going to do a lot of cold calling. You're going to do a lot of door knocking. You're going to get a bunch of lead lists. And I came in saying, I'm not going to do that. And I had to prove myself. And so really, coming from the financial industry, I just saw a need in the financial world for a Medicare expertise.
Yeah.
And I just said, I'm going to be that person. And so that is how I went into it. Not really saying, I mean, I actually did. I did say I'm not going to cold call. I said I'm not going to door knock, but I would kind of cold call financial advisors. So I was still like cold calling and putting myself on those, making those not so warm calls to other financial professionals.
So then
Day one.
another one of my questions a little further down, but I'll just move into it because was it the financial place that you came from that gave you the referral partner? Or how did you get that first referral partner?
No, what's actually really ironic is so there's 45 different financial advisors that I currently work with regularly. And the company I came from is not one of them. Because like I really started like a Medicare program there.
Mm-hmm. So
and
they
so
have their
they
inner
kind
workings
of
already.
they do.
Yeah.
So I get it. I still like
You're like, I get it. I helped. I set it up.
I did set it up. And they still refer to me a handful of times, but one of my like regular referral partners actually isn't them.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, so I just saw, and it wasn't really the financial advisors, it was the clients that, I mean, it would be 10, 20, 30 of our retiree clients over and over. They'd come in for their annual meeting and they'd be like, I'm going to turn 65 soon. I'm going to retire soon. And I have no idea what to do with Medicare.
Yeah.
And in turn, the 3 different financial advisors that like I was the planner for, none of them answered their questions. And I was just like, are you guys okay with like it was just like known in the industry that like you knew a little bit about Medicare, but they would refer them to Medicare.gov or they would refer them to, there was a couple like software systems that are designed for financial advisors to use when it comes to Medicare, but they weren't giving them the advice.
Okay.
And so I just thought there's a huge niche here for education and a niche in Medicare expertise.
So did you go start just calling different places that you knew, or was it just like you kind of knew who they were?
So I was really involved in like chamber stuff, BNI stuff at my previous job. And so I would say probably 5 financial advisors in the community really well. And I remember my like very first week, I met with all 5 of them. I felt comfortable with them and I just told them everything about this is what I'm doing now. This is like my business model. Do you support it? And they were like, I will start sending you clients today.
Okay.
Like it's huge. And so then I saw their understanding, their excitement. And so then I would ask them, what other financial advisors do you know that you could connect me with?
There you go. So you kept asking for more from those original, the original 5.
Yep.
Okay.
And so my whole it was about 9 months. Well, it was exactly 9 months because I was pregnant the whole time. I had my first year, I really only worked 9 months. Yeah. That whole 9 months, I averaged 30 hours a week of referral partner prospecting.
Wow.
I made sure I would get 30 hours a week I was not meeting with clients. I was either doing one-on-one meetings with financial advisors, other insurance agents, or a part of a Rotary or a part of a BNI.
Okay.
30 hours a week.
30 hours a week. And you weren't writing any applications during that time?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I would have.
Yeah, I would have gladly.
But that's just like the other thing I feel like with the way I built my business is it's low and slow. Yeah. I mean, like, yes, what's awesome about cold calling or door knocking someone is you could potentially get a sale right then and there. But the way I wanted to build my business by referral partners, it doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah. So you went more of you want it to be sustainable. Like I know I don't want to do this. How do I kind of work that in? So if you had to go back in time, would you still do it that same way?
I would even do it more.
Yeah.
I would do more hours. And I think, so day 1, month 1, year 1, that is what I lived and breathed. now, I'm lucky if I do it 2 hours a week.
Okay.
And I hate that.
Yeah.
Like
You want more time
I
for
need
that?
more time, and there's just not enough hours in the week.
Yeah.
Because I am fully busy just from my current clients and getting new ones.
Yeah.
But I've like plateaued at my like 40 financial advisors, I feel like, and I want to keep growing that.
Okay. So if
That's something I need to do more of now.
to work into your schedule is like, okay, now I want
Yep.
3
And
to
I
4
try
hours.
to. It's just, if something comes up, well, a client wants to meet, okay, client's really actually more important, so I'll push off something that will then get me in front of a client.
Yeah. So let's say, just as a random example, got an agent who this is their main job. This is what they're doing. This is how they're trying to get an income.
Uh-huh.
How would you think they could balance doing that and trying to write some business? Like they're already working some leads or doing some cold calling. They're like, I have to make some sales. But and I know that referral partners is kind of the way to go to build that business, just like you have. So like, how would you try to help somebody juggle that time? Because this is what I have to do. I'm like, I have a general idea, but from the pro, what we do.
Lucky for me, I do have a financial background, and so I prepared for 3 years of like, I'm gonna have very little income.
Okay.
That's what my mindset was. And so I knew that first year, it really was just a matter of like budgeting before I took the leap of doing this.
Okay.
Which some people in hindsight, it's too late,
Yeah.
at that point. But as far as if that's the way they're wanting to build their business, I would do ancillary products
Yeah.
for friends and family. I mean, honestly,
Yeah.
you can survive on those commissions as you're getting new Medicare clients. Because, yeah, your friends and family might not be 65 yet.
I love that. I talk about ancillary stuff all the time.
Yeah.
So just to hear it from you.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it. So, okay.
That's for sure what I would do.
Okay. So write some ancillary products, look at friends and family who can also then be referral partners because they know people. Assuming they know at least one other person, they could probably suggest somebody.
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay. So last question to kind of wrap that one up would be, how do you ask your clients then for a referral? What's your phrasing? How do you bring it up to them? Or are you just so awesome that you're like, I
typically,
know people are gonna refer
no, gosh, no. No, I typically do it in like after we've enrolled, when I'm kind of summarizing their plans, talking about SBS, I really just always say, and please know if you have any friends or family, neighbors that could use my services, please send them my way.
Awesome. Leave them
I
some
mean, I
business
feel
cards,
like
whatever that is.
I leave them business cards. And then I also, whenever I write my thank you notes, I put my business cards in there as well.
Awesome.
So they have more.
I love that because the personal handwritten thank you card with, again, asking just like, hey, here's some business cards for your friends.
Yep, exactly.
It's an easy way that seems like, yes, of course everyone should be doing this. But if you're not, make sure you have that.
I feel like when I was first starting, I feel like you almost get scared to ask for that referral, which is silly. I mean, it's such a easy thing to say.
I feel like a lot of missed opportunities or missed growth opportunities early on is that just anxiety of, I don't want to cross sell this because I don't want to lose that core product sale.
Yep.
Or I don't want to ask for a referral because I don't want to seem too pushy. But something I've always thought of is like, you're an insurance agent. You're there to sell them insurance. They know what that appointment's about.
Right, they do. They're there for a reason.
So like asking for that additional product or asking for the referral is something when you get an email from, Amazon that's just like, hey, give us a rating. Like you expect that kind of stuff. You expect to be sold insurance at an insurance appointment.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely.
So
hit me with another one.
Okay. Next one I got for you is, let's see. Well, yeah. This is just a random thought I had. What was I told you I wing it.
We're winging it today.
What was the first product you wrote? Did you start off with a Med Sup? Did you start with Med Advantage? Or did you start Ancillary Land?
A dual Medicare Advantage. That was my very first one I ever sold.
That was not the answer I was
I
prepared for.
remember exactly where she was, where it happened, her wedding album she had brought out to show me.
So your first product was a dual special needs.
Yep.
Okay. Tell
Very
me.
surprising for
Yes.
me too.
So
Yeah.
tell me about that, because that's a market that again is one that I feel like the opportunities there. It's just there's a lot to it, and people are almost afraid to enter that market because there's a lot of different things. And
Yeah.
of course, Kari and Pure Kari Fashion was like, no, that's what I'm doing now.
No, I mean, it was not planned that way. It was, so my husband is from Rolla, and I feel like there was nobody doing Medicare in Rolla.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a small town in Missouri. And I kind of thought that was going to be my niche.
Yeah.
Was working down there. And it really was my first year. And so I spoke at different assisted livings down there.
Okay.
And it was somebody I had spoken to at one of the assisted livings. She was on a retiree plan. I ended up not moving her, but she said, I have a friend who you should talk to.
Okay.
And so my first sale was a dual bio referral from somebody I met with at a assisted living.
This is why it was called Novice to Pro, because you lasted like this long as a novice, apparently.
No. No.
Okay, so my follow-up to that would be,
Okay.
How'd that go? Was it smooth? Was it a little difficult?
It was difficult. I think what made me the most nervous was like she had a lot of health issues.
So you don't want to mess
And
anything
that
up
just
there.
really scared me.
Yeah.
My very first sale was like, you are very sick.
Yeah, I need you to have this health
And
insurance.
she was already on a dual, but it seemed like awful. Just seemed like a terrible plan. And so I remember I called my manager like in the meeting and asked him like, I know I'm new, but I really think this plan like just is a terrible plan. But like I just
Am I wrong?
I need
Somebody tell
some
me.
confirmation that like by me switching her here was a good plan and a good option. And he said, yep, go for it.
Okay.
And it was messy. It was slow. It was a paper application. I think
The paper app.
yeah, I'm sure I missed something. I had to go back. I don't know. It was messy. I feel like just any first sale should be.
Yeah. And it looks like Michelle, that was your first one too. I
Was
love
it
that.
dual? Love it.
That doesn't surprise me at all either with you, Michelle. That you dive right into that more difficult case. So
Yeah. I
that
think maybe my second one was a dual too, because it was it her sister? I think my first two were duals.
oh my gosh.
And then
Of
I
course.
probably didn't write a dual for 6 months after that.
But now, is that still something you go to a lot? Is that something you target a
Duals?
lot? Yeah.
The dual apps that I write are typically I'm well connected with two of the nonprofits here in town that help seniors, Love Columbia,
Oh yeah. Yep.
and then Services for Independent Living. And both of those, what I did about 2 years ago, I went in and asked if I could give an educational talk on Medicare to all of their volunteers.
Okay.
And so I did a talk to all the volunteers and workers of those nonprofits who are face-to-face with those that are.
Gotcha. So enough to tell them, come talk to me, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so that's the majority of where I get those referrals.
Okay.
But I do write some duals.
So, kind of backtracking then, you said how you would have started was offering some ancillary products to try to get some income. Something that I hear a lot is that first app is this kind of anxiety of like, well, I don't want to miss that first sale or lock in my core product. So that's why I asked you about like, how'd that go? Because it didn't go great. It went fine. You got the client on a good plan.
Yeah, she's still my client. Yeah.
There you go.
She's still my client.
So your advice would be just do it. Learn by experience.
Absolutely.
You'll learn it.
I'm a big believer in like you have to learn by doing.
Yeah.
And don't be afraid of saying you don't know something.
I'm very good at that. Don't worry.
I mean,
I'll tell
there's
you right now.
so much to know. Everything is constantly changing. And having, it also helped for me having a go-to person that I could call if I was in a pickle or just needed like I did, I needed confirmation that what I was thinking
Yeah.
was right. If he had said no, I probably would have been like, see you later.
Yeah. Just like, well, I'm going to leave now.
gonna leave. I'm getting timid now.
Okay. So, my next kind of one I want to get into.
Okay.
And I know you said you don't do cold calling or door knocking, but did you ever purchase any leads in this time? The early days?
I think I did 2 rounds of the like turning 65 postcards.
Okay.
So does that count as a lead?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Yeah.
We'll count it.
Yeah. So yes, I did some of those, and I did get a handful of clients from them.
Okay.
But I don't remember ever really like calling. But at least if they returned a postcard,
Yeah, you felt like,
a
okay,
little
there's
bit
some
warmer.
connection here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So
And I know that works.
Right.
Like I know that method works. It's worked for however long this industry has been around.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just me coming in with a different background and a different mindset of how I wanted to grow my business.
Okay. So that would be something you might institute a little bit more if you were needing, like you didn't have the money set aside to not have a good income for 3 years.
Oh, yes.
Would
I
you
would
look
have
at
for
more,
sure done that.
Like, oh, I got some marketing money here.
Yes.
I wrote an app. Cool.
Yeah.
Now I can afford to buy some more leads.
I also was really good when I first started, I feel like, at boosting like social media stuff.
Ooh, yeah.
Because it was a free way to get leads.
Yeah. Just trying to generate some kind of excitement.
And
on the
it wasn't
Facebook page.
costing me anything in that period where I wasn't making any income.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah.
Love that.
But also like doing those educational talks, I mean, they don't cost you anything.
Yeah, exactly. I always think spending time is just as valuable as spending money.
Yeah, my
Because
30 hours a week, yeah.
You paid yourself. You're like,
Yes.
okay, I am my lead vendor here.
Yep.
I'm going to go call these people.
Yes.
I love that so much.
For me, what my like day one, what my whole first year I feel like was about was just talking to people, anybody and everybody, about what I do.
Got it.
I just feel like you never know who is going to be a good, who knows a senior? Everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Everybody knows at least a couple, right?
Yeah. And so I sought out the financial professionals to talk to, but I would also just tell anybody like what I did. I'd be at a chamber event and, going in depth about what I do.
There you go. Okay. So
I think that's really important.
So early time, we know it's a lot of you're building that referral partners. Whenever you started to do more appointments, when did you kind of back that up, I guess? Of when did you say, okay, I've got enough, or I've got a few here? Did that not stop for a year or two?
I don't think I ever really was like, all right, I'm done. I think it was a combination of having 2 children, taking up my time. And I still only work outside of AEP. I mean, I only work about 15 to 20 hours a week now that while my girls are little. But before they were born, I was working 30, 40 hours a week.
Okay.
So I think there was just a point in time where my designated hours that I work a week was filled with meetings, and I couldn't have the...
Yeah.
Now, with that said, I still have made a point to continuously do presentations.
Yeah, I know that's a big thing for you.
But not as many of the one-on-one meetings.
Okay.
So I'm still prospecting. Like, for instance, just a couple months ago, a financial advisor I knew asked me to do a presentation to all the advisors at his firm.
Okay.
So, that put me in front of 10 new advisors.
That's awesome. Got a good question here. So did you compensate your referral partners for the Medicare referrals? And if yes, how much? Like if you were to work with another P&C agent, I know you work with the financial agents, but was there ever any compensation?
I do work with a couple like State Farm agents.
Mm-hmm.
I work with a couple of them, which is interesting because they can do Medicare.
Yeah.
Well, med subs.
Does State Farm have a med sub?
Mm-hmm.
It's news to me.
But the good ones I work with, they know they're not competitive.
Oh, okay.
So they will literally like refer them.
They'd rather refer them.
Yeah, because they know it's what's best for their client. I have never paid anybody to be a referral partner.
Yeah.
I'm in the process now. I've had one PNC agency ask me that I have a meeting with next week to figure out what that would look like. But no, I think just showing they see the need.
Right.
At least the financial advisors, like they have seen over and over that they know they lack that service. They know that they're lacking that advice for their clients. And so it was just never even a conversation. They just appreciated me coming to their office, them saying, you know, she's a part of our team. She's our Medicare expert. I make them look good. So I don't think they needed that.
I think your compensation is what you're saying is your time again. Like you were providing them a service by helping them keep their clients happy. Yeah. Because then they didn't go to another financial advisor that also does Medicare. It's like, no, you got to keep that client and I did your Medicare for you.
And I think part of what I do a lot of now that I didn't do when I first started is I keep my referral partners in the loop all the time. Like if I have a meeting or if I think there's something that their client that they sent me needs to be in the loop of, you know, I keep them updated.
Okay.
And I'll tell them, you know, so-and-so is good to go for their April 1st start date. They're all squared away. And then also before AEP, I send out, you know, a letter to all of them, an email saying, just so you know, I'm going to be reaching out to all your clients again. No worries. Like they'll have their annual review with me. So I keep them in the loop a lot.
So yeah, like if in passing they're talking to that client, you'd be like, oh yeah, I talked to Kari. She's going to meet with you soon. Okay. How does that work on the other side? Do you end up taking people that are just only Medicare with you and refer them back to your financial partners? Do you do much of that?
So what's interesting is I had just a couple weeks ago, my first advisor ask me, she goes, I didn't realize you work with so many financial advisors. And she was like, I knew what she was trying to say. Is she was basically saying, how do I know you're not going to take my client and refer him to someone else?
Yeah.
But then I think she realizes she was saying like, well, I trust you wouldn't do that. Yeah. And no, I would not never do that because I would never get business from you again.
Yeah, you're like, no, I like this business model. I want to keep this.
But, you know, if just a natural referral who wasn't from a financial advisor, yes, I'm asking them a question. They're retiring. They ask me about a 401k rollover. I'm like, oh, you know what? I work with a ton of financial advisors. And yes, I try to refer it back as much as I can.
Yeah. Okay.
Typically what I do, so I don't like
pick favorites. I
will give the person 3 options and I'll say, this is what I like about this one and this one. And then I let them choose.
Yeah. And is that part of that like warm cold call out to a partner of like that you mentioned, like, this is what I do, but I do kind of have some people that
I mention that and I try to mention it to all of them that I do work with other financial advisors because I don't want that to ever be a surprise to them.
Like, let's just let's rip the Band-Aid off.
And so I do say that. I make that clear. And yeah, I will always say, I hope that I can always refer business back to you. Yeah. You know, that's my goal is to be able to refer back to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I've got one more big one that I want to ask about. One. And it's more so about you got started, but how much time did you spend researching or trying to learn about Medicare as you were getting going? Because I feel like a lot of the times we see agents who want to know everything about something before jumping in. How much time did you realistically spend? Because like if you were doing 30 hours of referral partner calling, it doesn't leave you a ton of time. But how did you try to also retain and learn new information during this time?
I'm kind of a nerd. Like I probably do more learning now even than I did back then. I still go back to, I think I learned more by doing. Like as much as I would read, you're not going to really learn the rules and learn the nuances and learn all the kinks until you're in it, experiencing it with your clients. And so I probably didn't spend that many hours like researching, because
Okay.
you can read something in the Medicare New Handbook, but not really learn the application of it until you're doing it.
Right. Okay.
This is kind of embarrassing, but something I
It's
did.
okay. We go way back.
We go way back. Something I did, and I wish I would have kept doing it, but like the guys at SBS always made fun of me because they were like, if there was going to be a weird situation, Carrie, it's going to happen to Carrie. Like I would ask them questions my first few months that they're like, we have never run into this.
Yeah.
No idea.
Like hypothetical questions you told them?
Yes.
Okay.
And so, it was real client
okay.
stuff that I would run
Gotcha.
into. But I kept a spreadsheet of like questions and weird things that would happen with clients.
Just
so
weird
that I would always
spreadsheet.
have it to refer.
You're like, wait, it's on the spreadsheet.
No, but really, I'm like, wait, I think that happened with that client. What happened again? And so I would like have that to refer back to of like, okay, this is what we did. This is how I solved it. And this was the answer.
I love that.
It helped me.
Yeah.
But I ran into so many like unique scenarios now that I wish I would have continued it,
but now you're
too
like,
busy.
now I just know. I know all
No,
this.
just too busy to be that meticulous.
Yeah. Well, that is a super helpful thing that I think a lot more people could do, is just write down some weird stuff that happened and how you solved it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I do that all the time where I'm like, wait, I know I worked on something like this before. Where was it? And
Yes.
I have a notebook of stuff, and I can't tell you what was here yesterday.
Yeah.
So if
It's
you had a
true.
specific spot for your weird cases,
Yeah.
or how you solve some things.
And then also if anybody else, asks, or if it happens to anybody else like on our team, I'm like, you know what, that happened to me in 2019. Let me look back.
It's like I have that log
I
date
have
here.
something similar.
So Ben
Got
asked,
some
did you
questions.
ever do that with the hypotheticals, or did you really only try to tackle real world weird situations?
Oh, I never like
Go down
thought
rabbit
them
holes.
up. No, I only tackled them as I got myself in those situations.
Gotcha. I like a good weird rabbit hole of
Yeah.
information. I'll go on Reddit and just get into it and be like, all right, I'm gonna learn everything.
My
about
mind
this
is
today.
a big one that just this worst case scenario wanders down lots of rabbit holes. So I would not let myself think of the
Gotcha.
hypothetical.
I don't have that willpower.
Yeah, I don't have that willpower.
Okay, so analysis paralysis is big. Yeah.
Yeah.
So don't try to show off all your knowledge to your client, or they will talk yourself out of a sale.
Yes, I agree full-heartedly.
Yeah, I think that's a good point too, is they're already going to be overwhelmed at that appointment.
Yep.
If you try to also overwhelm them with how much you know about something,
Right.
they're going to be like, I don't understand any of this now, and I just want to go home.
Well, and like I feel like if you know the basics of Medicare in and out, and then they ask you a question you don't know, I mean, I feel like there's also reassurance in telling them that's a unique situation. I've never run into this. I want to make sure that I'm telling you accurately. Let me double check on that.
Yeah.
And they're going to feel way more confident in you by double checking with your superiors than you just rattling something off.
Yeah. And also, like, for people who might not have like a full actual back office, but they partner with like an FMO.
Yeah.
Still referring to your team. I'm going to do to my team, and it kind of gives you
Absolutely.
that kind of
You've
credibility.
got a great team here.
Thanks.
Yeah. Great team.
So the last thing, kind of wrap up this little questionnaire section of this interview, and thank you for letting me do this.
Yes.
Without having any knowledge of what I was going to ask you.
That is okay. I love it. You got me on the spot.
So tomorrow, 10 o'clock, we're doing a webinar going over the CMS final ruling for 2024. So a lot of stuff to unpack there. But my thing is, somebody who's brand new might not understand the implications of any of this. So how much did you take into that kind of stuff? Or did you let people tell you what's important?
I let people tell me what's important.
You, a study nerd that has Excel spreadsheets of weird situations?
I did, because I am someone that would overanalyze and worry about it all. And then I vividly remember, when was it? I asked, was it Mary? Was it Mary Sire? I think it was. I was like, you just need to tell me what I need to know.
Yeah.
And what I don't like it.
Just
I
leave
trust that
leave
you
that out.
guys, yeah, because there's so much, and it's constantly changing.
So, another great time to shamelessly plug, like I said, tomorrow, 10
Yes.
o'clock, Chaylin, our compliance officer, going over the
I need
CMS
to
final
attend
rule.
that. I need to
I'll get you
attend it.
registered. Don't worry. We're doing a contest.
I need.
Get
Get me registered.
I got you.
Please do. Send me the link.
But definitely check that one out. It's on our events page. Have somebody tell you what you need to know with this,
Yep.
which I think is kind of the overarching theme is
Yes.
don't get too much in the weeds, but make note of some weird situations because that sounds
Right.
awesome.
Yeah.
Keep working on your referral partners. That is investing your time, which your time is your money too. So don't hesitate to do that.
Too late. Too late. What?
What's too late?
Ben said too late.
Oh,
I don't know
he
what
might have
that
tried to
means.
register you.
Oh!
No, dibs. So, okay,
As long as one of you have me covered.
we got you.
Okay.
So, last question I'll ask. What's the biggest thing that you wish that you would have done day one that you know, now knowing everything that Kari knows, what would you have done day one differently?
Oh man, that's so hard. What would I do differently?
What would you do more of?
I would take better notes.
There you go. That's the thing. So, like your
I
CRM
would
or your
take
client?
better. Yes.
Okay.
I would be more organized about every single meeting, like leaving that meeting and putting everything in that.
Okay. Is that just from it burned you in the past, or did you just like miss little things that you wish you would have
Yeah,
done?
I just think you can, the more you remember, like, because fast forward 3 years, 4 years, when you have a lot more clients, like you're not going to remember those little details about their grandkids and where they traveled. And so just having that history of that you can refer to, like, I think it's just going to keep them coming back to you.
Yeah.
And there's a handful of clients that I wasn't good about that with. And I'm
Well, I
kicking
love that.
myself for it.
Well,
So I don't know if that was a
I'm
good
sure they
answer
love
or
you
not.
too, so
But
you'll be all right. But I do love that tip of just keeping your CRM notes updated.
yeah.
Keep highlighting stuff. So as you grow from novice to pro, you still remember those day one clients and all those little
Yeah.
details.
And like I hate when I will ask clients, I'm like, do you have any grandkids close by? And then like they say yes, and I'm like, oh, we had this conversation last
it
year
all just
about
floods back.
yes, and then I feel terrible.
Oh, well, that's just you being nice.
But no, like, but if I had written that down, I would have known, hey, ask about Johnny, or like, I don't know.
No,
I just
that's
think
great.
it is a good retention strategy. Can I ask how many Medicare clients you have?
I was gonna let her read it.
Do what?
I was gonna let you read it and see if you wanted to answer that.
I have, yeah, absolutely. So I have not been here 4 years, and I should hit my 300th client this week.
Woo! We need to celebrate.
Yes, I'm very excited about
Good.
that. Mostly because I really only work 15 hours a week the majority of the year.
Yeah.
So once my girls are in school and I can work like 40 hours a week.
It's like, watch out, world.
Watch out.
Well, I love that. Kari, thank you so much.
Yes,
I don't
thanks
have
for those
anything
are
else.
really good questions. What's your final like advice?
My final advice is, so I was talking to a broker the other day who is literally just getting started. Love this kid. He's 19. He's just getting into Medicare.
Mm-hmm.
And he was just like, I need to know, what do I do? Like, what does my morning look like? This is my job now.
What does my morning look like?
What's it like? How do I go to
how do you
work?
start your day?
Yeah. He's like, how do I go to work? Like, what do I do first thing? I need a first thing. So with him being so new and not really having a ton of Medicare knowledge, I said, okay, let's build like a schedule for you.
Yeah.
We started off like, let's get you some research in because you need to know your base knowledge. And then I put in some hours of cold calling or door knocking for him.
Mm-hmm.
And then right around, like sandwiched around his lunchtime, I said, here's 2 hours before lunch. Here's 2 hours after lunch. Go do some networking. Go figure that out.
Perfect.
I was like, I know this will be time that you're not trying to actually go make money, but
Glad
this
you
will
put
pay
that
off
in.
way in the dividend, like dividends at the end.
Yeah.
Circle back, doing that stuff. So like my thing is find referral partners.
Absolutely.
Find them. Keep hunting for them.
That's what you got to do.
Um,
And it's anybody. It doesn't have to be a financial
so many
advisor.
people.
To this day, one of my biggest referral partners was from my BNI that I started in. He was this like 21-year-old handyman.
Yep.
I never in my life thought he was going to be a good referral partner for me, but he worked with a bunch of widows.
Yeah. They needed some help around the house.
And it's a good thing I talked to him about Medicare.
Love that.
Like, you don't think the 21-year-old Mr. Fix-It is going to be the person that sends you a bunch of business.
Yeah.
So you just never know.
Well, good. And I'm sure you refer back to him as like, you need a handyman? I got you. I got
exactly. Yes. Because I know a bunch of widows too.
Yeah. That's my main piece of advice is work that into your day.
Yep.
Like it's part of
Love
your job.
You gotta put it on your calendar.
Yep. Well, I don't think we have any other questions.
Yeah, I don't think so. No text line today. That
no.
was all the comments. Thanks for getting involved and asking stuff. I always like when you guys chime in. Makes it easy on us.
For sure. Well, I guess
I'm very bad at the sign off.
Okay.
I'm very bad. I know my part.
Oh, I usually do your part.
Until next time.
Have fun.
Make money.
And give impeccable service. We did it.
We did it.
All right.